Only in Kentucky can you find a county seat that hosts an annual festival for a lost silver mine and a courthouse with a stone wolf head carved right above the front columns. Hi, I'm Michael, and I'm learning a little bit more about Kentucky, one county at a time, all 120 of them. And today, I'm learning about Wolfe County. According to stories first popularized in the 1780s by land speculator John Filson, an English prospector named Jonathan Swift led an expedition into the hills between 1761 and 1769. Legend claims Swift stumbled upon a massive vein of pure silver, set up a hidden furnace, and minted thousands of silver coins right there in the wilderness. As the story goes, Swift buried his fortune in secret caves before returning east, but he was struck blind before he could ever return to retrieve it. Filson used the tale to drive interest in frontier land speculation, triggering a treasure hunt across eastern Kentucky that lasted for over 2 centuries. Prospectors searched caves, dug up creek beds, and chipped away at cliff faces along Swift Camp Creek. The legend became so deeply rooted in local culture that the county seat eventually built its largest community event around it, the Swift Silver Mine Festival, held downtown every Labor Day weekend. Geologically, however, the treasure seems to have been a myth. The Kentucky Geological Survey conducted extensive testing on mineral samples collected throughout Wolfe County and confirmed that the local sedimentary rock holds no natural silver or precious metal deposits. Every bright metallic rock brought in by hopeful prospectors turned out to be iron pyrite, better known as fool's gold. While 18th century prospectors chased this imaginary silver, real wealth in early Wolfe County came from timber. In the late 19th century, heavy logging operations moved into the virgin hardwood forests along the Red River tributaries. Lumber companies built boom towns almost overnight to house workers and process timber. 5 miles west of Campton, the Swan Day Lumber Company established the town of Easton. At its peak, around 1900, Easton was a thriving community of 200 residents with 35 homes, a company store, and a pretty busy sawmill. But once logging crews clear-cut the surrounding hills, the mill shut down, the families moved away, and Easton vanished completely from the landscape. By March 5, 1860, the Kentucky General Assembly officially created Wolfe County from portions of Breathitt, Morgan, Owsley, and Powell counties. For the county name, lawmakers selected Nathaniel Wolfe, a prominent legal prodigy born in Richmond, Virginia in 1810. Wolfe graduated from the University of Virginia School of Law in 1829 as part of its first graduating law class. Nathaniel moved to Louisville, built a reputation as a formidable defense attorney, and served over a decade as Commonwealth's attorney before representing Jefferson County in the state legislature. During the Civil War, Wolfe stood as a conservative unionist, advocating for state neutrality while opposing federal emancipation efforts. When local leaders established the county seat, they chose a small settlement along Swift Camp Creek named Camptown, which locals soon shortened to Campton. Civic buildings in the new town struggled against constant disaster. Fire destroyed the original log courthouse in 1886, burning early public records. A second courthouse was built on the square, but fire struck again in 1913, burning that structure to the ground. Determined to build a permanent home for local government, officials commissioned a third courthouse completed in 1917. This one was built out of thick stone and brick. This infrastructure features a distinct local detail carved directly into the stone gable above the front columns, the sculpted relief face of a wolf, giving the building a visual landmark unique amongst Kentucky courthouses. During the Great Depression, federal relief programs left a permanent mark on local public architecture. Between 1937 and 1942, the WPA constructed the historic Wolfe County High School on a high hill overlooking Campton. As the decades progressed, individual communities across Wolfe County developed around their own distinct origins and landmarks. Hazel Green, located in the northern part of the county, was settled in the early 1800s and became an important trade center along the old banked road between Mount Sterling and the mountain counties. In 1880, Greenfield advocate William Houston Cox founded the Hazel Green Academy, a private mountain school supported by the Christian Church Disciples of Christ. For over a century, the academy provided secondary education, vocational training, and dorms for youth across eastern Kentucky before closing its doors in 1983. Over in Lee City, settled along the banks of Frozen Creek, the community grew around local agricultural trade and timber milling, taking its name from an early settler and landowner named Stephen Lee. Down along the southern edge of the county, Pine Ridge developed on a high sandstone plateau, eventually becoming a gateway for travelers entering the Red River Gorge and hosting early forestry stations for the Daniel Boone National Forest. And despite its small population and rugged terrain, Wolfe County produced two figures who reached national prominence through vastly different career paths. South Trimble was born on a farm near Hazel Green in 1864. His family history was tied to the violent Civil War era in eastern Kentucky. In October of 1864, his father, Asbury Trimble, was killed by a brother-in-law during a heated dispute involving enslaved laborers of the family tannery. Raised in the wake of that conflict, South Trimble entered politics as a young man, winning election to the Kentucky House of Representatives in 1898 and serving as Speaker of the House in 1900. Voters sent him to Washington in 1901, where he served 3 terms in the U.S. House of Representatives. Trimble's primary historical impact came behind the scenes in Capitol Hill administration. In 1911, he was elected clerk of the United States House of Representatives, a vital role managing legislative documentation, official House records, and administrative staff. Trimble served as clerk from 1911 to 1919 and was called back to the post in 1931, serving till his death in 1946. Over his career, Trimble managed House operations across 5 presidential administrations. 4 decades later, an untrained woodcarver from Lee City achieved national fame in the American art world. Edgar Tolson was born in Wolfe County in 1904, the 4th of 11 children. With only a 6th grade education, Tolson worked most of his life as a farmer, cobbler, stonemason, and lay preacher. In 1957, a severe stroke ended his physical labor, and he picked up a pocket knife to carve local poplar wood to pass the time. Tolson developed an unpainted, stark style of wood carving characterized by clean lines. His most famous work was a multi-piece biblical series titled The Fall of Man, depicting Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. In the late 1960s, Smithsonian Institution folklorist Ralph Rinzler discovered Tolson's work while researching Appalachian crafts, bringing him to Washington for the 1971 Festival of American Folklore. In 1973, Tolson's carvings were featured in the prestigious Whitney Biennial in New York City, placing a self-taught woodcarver from Wolfe County alongside the world's premier contemporary artists. Geographically, Wolfe County anchors the headwaters of the Red River within the Pottsville escarpment. Because tourism marketing groups often group the entire Red River Gorge into one destination, regional maps frequently confuse the county lines. For example, the famous Cloud Splitter and Newt Cache rock shelters are frequently cited in the general gorge histories. However, both shelters sit in the neighboring Menifee County. Similarly, while Natural Bridge State Resort Park is often associated with Campton, the Natural Sandstone Arch and Main Lodge sit across the line in Powell County. But what Wolfe County actually holds is Torrent Falls, located right alongside Route 11, thousands of acres within the Daniel Boone National Forest, a major portion of the 13,000-acre Clifty Wilderness, and the pristine headwaters that feed the official national wild and scenic stretch of the Red River. For over a century, mountain ridges kept Wolfe County isolated from major commercial centers. That spatial barrier broke in May of 1963 with the opening of the Mountain Parkway. A 4-lane highway linked Campton directly to Lexington, allowing manufacturing plants like Campton Electronic to open in 1969 and provide industrial jobs for local workers. Wolfe County remains completely rural and often ranks among the lower median household income tiers in federal census reporting, but the strength of the community showed itself clearly in late July of 2022, when historic flash floods devastated eastern Kentucky. During that disaster, the all-volunteer Wolfe County Search and Rescue Team became a critical lifeline. Working in total darkness through rushing floodwaters along the Kentucky River tributaries, local volunteer rescuers executed dozens of high-risk swiftwater rescues. In one widely covered effort, team members navigated roaring currents to reach a family trapped inside their home, cutting through the roof to pull parents and children safely out of the attic just as water swallowed the living quarters of the home. So, that's Wolfe County. What'd I get wrong this time?